tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
The views and opinions expressed on Trudging Together are solely those of the host, co-host, and our guests. They do not necessarily reflect the views of any organization, fellowship, or other entity, and definitely not your boss, your neighbor, or that one guy in your home group. The content of this program is not intended to replace medical, psychological, or professional advice. If you're looking for that, please seek guidance from qualified professionals who spent way too many years in school. What you'll hear here is based on lived experience, recovery journeys, and the occasional bad coffee-fueled joke. Trudging Together is not affiliated with any 12-step fellowship. We are simply people sharing our stories and walking this path together, one day at a time. Thank you for joining us, and remember, recovery is serious business, but that doesn't mean we can't laugh along the way.
Hello, hello. Oh, my stuff's reversed again. It does that every now and again. I have to clear my cache because I do a lot of stuff, so I have to clear my cache. And that means all my settings go away. Yeah. But if I don't, then my clips aren't made. And what a pain in the butt. Yeah. Doing something didn't quite work out the way I wanted it to. Oh, well. I mean, I will get it figured out. I updated my website. It's just plain Jane now. I'll show it to you real quick. I'll show it to you. There it is. There's a new website. I'll make it look a little bit better up there. But really, you scroll down and it's just my stuff. That's about it. What I was hoping for was right here. This is the daily trudge right here. It did not update. It should be showing the one I'm on now. So clearly I didn't do it correctly. So I just spent the last 3 hours. I'll get it figured out. But I needed something a little. The other one was just, it was too clunky. There was a lot of stuff on it that wasn't true anymore. Blah, blah. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, blah. All right. Now that we've gotten past the blah, blahs. Oh, my brain kind of hurts. My eyes are tired. Oh, poor me. Poor me. But this week I've been getting a lot of the big stuff done, and it's off my plate, right? Right now, what we're going to have to call it is good enough. Why do they still have Christmas music on here? Why is that? Let's see what Christmas music sounds like. Should I do that while I'm... See, a lot of people do their, they'll talk and they'll have music going on behind them, right? I have found that it just irritates the crap out of my listeners. That was cool. It's called pop. What is corporate? What does corporate sound like? Not corporate, that's Coldplay. Rain. It's not rain. Nature sounds. That sounds like rain. It's one behind. That's why. I bet if I go to atmosphere, I get nature sounds. Yeah. All right. Welcome to Daily Trudge. Dion, host. It's Thursday. Tomorrow I have a guest on. Tomorrow we're gonna have a raw recovery coming out. That'll be nice. If you're here, please say hello. Watching, rewatch, listening. I shouldn't really say rewatch, right? An unsuspected inner resource, page 567 to 568. That is going to be the spiritual experience. So, Should we cover spiritual experience? I don't know that I have time. So let's cover this, and then we'll have time, we will have time. I'll make time. Maybe. Bucket. All right. I have to set up for the meeting, but I can do that while I'm live, actually. All I got to do is just hey, we're meeting in 30 minutes. So, and I didn't do shit with my hair, did I? Okay. There we go. It's all pretty again. The spiritual experience, the terms spiritual experience and spiritual awakening are used many times in this book, which, upon careful reading, shows that the personality change sufficient to bring about recovery from alcoholism has manifested itself among us in many different forms. As many as people as there are in the program, there will be experiences. Now, it says spiritual experience and spiritual awakening, and I believe that these are two different things. I have spiritual experiences all the time. Every now and again, I will have a sudden shift. I call it the 2x4 effect. It happened to me twice this last year. Now, if you listen to me consistently, there's a good chance I talked about it, where I said I've just been changing quickly lately. I'll say things like, I'm not the person you met last week. I'm not that person anymore. Happened to me twice this year. Those are spiritual awakenings. You'll get them. I call it the 2x4 effect. All right. So, spiritual experiences I have all the time. All right. Like when somebody shows up and they have a year of sobriety, and I had no idea. Woo, spiritual experience. Right. Seeing things. I mean, there's so many. The cool thing is I get to decide whether these things are spiritual experiences or not. Hold on. Getting a ringing in my ear. No, it's not tinnitus. Hold on. I know. I'm weird, but I'm doing something. Yep. Okay. All right. When I get ringing in my ears, it means somebody's trying to talk to me. And there's something walking around here. Not of this world. So, all right. Anyway, doesn't matter. Happens to me all the time. So, it's probably my grandma. Is that you, Grandma? Grandma, you running around? Huh. All right. Anyway, maybe now I don't have enough time now that I'm, doing all that. All right. Are used many times in this book. Shows the personality change is sufficient to bring about recovery from addiction have manifested itself among us in many different forms. Yet it is true that our first printing gave many readers the impression that these personality changes or religious experience must be in the nature of sudden and spectacular upheavals. Happily for everyone, this conclusion is erroneous. I find it a little funny. Alcoholics looking for their loopholes. Right. Now, Bill describes his as sudden and so, but other than that, not really. There are a few, but most of them, no. Right? They give those little the shorter stories in the 164. So I think this was just a bunch of alcoholics trying to figure out, Anyway, doesn't matter. I just find it kind of funny. So, because I did not get that impression. Of course, I was probably taught different too. So who knows? In the first few chapters, a number of sudden revolutionary changes are described. I'm trying to think of them. Those are the only ones I can think of. Might be some other ones. Okay. Though it was not our intention to create such an impression, many alcoholics have nevertheless concluded. There we are thinking again. Coming to conclusions, probably all by ourselves too. Many alcoholics have nevertheless concluded that in order to recover, they must acquire an immediate and overwhelming God consciousness, followed at once by a vast change in feeling and outlook. Among our rapidly growing membership of thousands of alcoholics, such transformations, though frequent, are by no means the rule. Most of our experience is what the psychologist William James calls the educational variety because they develop slowly over a period of time. All right. Now, I was saying before that I've had these spiritual awakenings where it's kind of a sudden shift, but it wasn't this overwhelming. I would, when I first got sober, if God would have gave me a burning bush, I would have thrown fire, water on it. I'm a reactive person. Now I would not do that. Now I get burning bushes here and there. But the first one took time. And I'm glad that it did. I'm very glad that it did. Because I really like taking time getting to know people. And that includes getting to know my higher power. All right. There are some questions that the last drop I just got. The last drop was at our local central office. Tradition 2 checklist. Do I criticize or do I trust and support my group officers, AA committees, and offer workers, newcomers, old timers? 2, am I absolutely trustworthy, even in secret with AA's 12 jobs or other AA? What is this? Do I look for credit in my AA jobs, praise for my AA ideas? I'm sorry, but wow. Okay. Those are good questions to ask, though. They are good questions. All right. So the educational variety, because they develop slowly over a period of time, quite often friends of the newcomer are aware of the difference long before he is. He realizes that he has undergone a profound alteration in his reaction to life. That such a change could hardly have been brought about by himself alone. Huh. All right. Now, when you change, you're one of the last people to notice. Okay. This is what I call a Karate Kid moment. That is the Karate Kid moment when you realize that you have been learning a bunch of skills, but you hadn't put them to use yet. This is part of the unsuspecting inner resource, which is to say your relationship with your higher power. That's the unsuspecting inner resource. It still comes from you. Good job. Right? So it doesn't matter whether your spiritual experience or the first one that you had, the first one spiritual experience you're probably going to have is you're going to realize that you hadn't thought about alcohol for a certain amount of time. It's going to be probably the first one or one of the first ones. It's a neat feeling to be like, I don't even want alcohol. This is weird. This is weird. Right. What often takes place in a few months could seldom have been accomplished by years of self-discipline. With few exceptions, our members find they have tapped an unsuspecting inner resource which they presently identify with their own conception of a power greater than themselves. All right, now we're going to go to the daily reflection since that is the part that we just read. So let's go to the reflections today. We just read the part with few exceptions. Our members find Alcoholics Anonymous, page 567 to 568. From my first days in AA, as I struggled for sobriety, I found hope in these words from our founders. I often pondered the phrase, they have tapped an unsuspecting inner resource. How, I asked myself, can I find the power within myself since I am so powerless? Powerless over alcohol. Okay. If you want to be powerless over everything else, yeah, it's a good place to start, giving everything to God and then figuring out what you do have power over. Yeah, it's great. That's a good place to start. Absolutely. In time, as the founders promised, it came to me. I've always had the choice between goodness and evil. Oh, huh. Hold on a second. All right. I've always had the choice between goodness and evil, between unselfishness and selfishness, between serenity and fear. That power greater than myself is an original gift that I did not recognize until I achieved daily sobriety through living the AA's 12 steps. So see, it was a realization for them. Might be an epiphany. It'll be a sudden realization. Mostly that God is doing for you what you could not do for yourself. Or maybe you'll be in a situation and you acted differently this time, right? And you came out of it, you're like, I cannot believe that's what came out of my mouth. Wow. That turned out well. It's cool stuff, man. Most of us think this awareness of a power greater than ourselves is the essence of a spiritual experience. Our most religious members call it God consciousness. I don't see anything religion about God consciousness. I don't think that needs to be, I don't even think that needs to be said. But anyway, all right, most of us have this awareness of power greater than ourselves, or most of us think this awareness is the essence. It is the essence. And what is essence? It's the beginning of the start of something. Most emphatically, it goes along with like, we implore you. We are imploring you. Remember I said I had to set up for the meeting? Yeah, I'm doing that real quick here. All right. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. All right, all done. Okay. So most emphatically, we wish to say that any alcoholic capable of honestly facing his problems in the light of our experience can recover, provided he does not close his mind to all spiritual concepts. He can only be defeated by an attitude of intolerance or belligerent denial. Let's look up belligerent. We gotta look up one word at least, right? Okay. Definition of belligerent: hostile and aggressive. Right? So he can only be defeated by an attitude of intolerance or hostile denial. It's anger. No. Leave me alone. I don't know. Me and Jim Beam, we used to love to play this game called Leave Me the Fuck Alone. It was one of my favorite games in the whole world. So, I mean, it's really not that far off. So, all right. We find that no one need have difficulty with the spirituality of the program. There shouldn't be any difficulty. We give so much leeway and so much. We're not going to make hard terms for you to find your higher power. And if somebody is telling you, if you're in meetings and people are telling you how to believe, go somewhere else. You don't need that crap. You don't. Your relationship with your higher power is one of the most important things in the world, man. Yes. It is personal. It is very, very personal. Right? I have my higher power. I choose to call him God. Right? You can't have it. You cannot have my higher power. My higher power wouldn't work out for you anyway. You're a totally different person than me. Huh. All right. So we find that no one need have difficulty with the spirituality of the program. Willingness, honesty, and open mindedness are the essentials of recovery, but these are indispensable. Those are italicized. I learned something new from my friend Amber the other day. She was talking about in the big book, when we got it printed the first time, having it italicized cost more money. I didn't know that. Good judge. So we spent extra money to do that. It must be pretty freaking important if AA is spending money. Okay. There is a principle which is a bar against all information, which is proof against all arguments, and which cannot fail to keep man in everlasting ignorance. Ignorance, my friends, ignorance in France. That principle is contempt prior to investigation. All right. And what does that mean at the end? It means I didn't even look. All right. I'm going to tell one of Jeff Allen's jokes. He was talking about a friend because he said that he used to run around and call himself an atheist. And he ran into a friend who was a Bible thumper. And he told his friend, I'm atheist. And he said, oh, really? You've read the Bible? And he's like, no, I'm an atheist. He's like, you're not an atheist. You're a dumbass. Because people that are atheists do read the Bible. They read the Bible. They know about it. They educate themselves. So just having fun. Tongue in cheek, tongue in cheek. All right. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I love you. You know I do. Peace out.